This video is just Mitsurugi Ryzeal combos. Special shout outs to Bobby who won Seattle Regionals. These are combos from his line, his spreadsheets. And if you guys want his deck profile, follow that particular thumbnail, or it's just probably linked down in the description. Now with that being said, let's just jump into it. This is combo 1, ice combo with a side of hash brown. The side of hash brown being a split timeline where I do get hit by Nibiru and one where I don't. We're going to start off by normal summoning out the Ice Ryzeal, summon out X Ryzeal, X Ryzeal gets the Sword Ryzeal, and then we're going to proceed to overlay the two monsters, and we're going to special summon out our King of the Feral Imps. King of the Feral Imps effect, detach, and even if it does get negated, you can actually rework it so that you can still get King of the Feral Imps effect because it's not hard once per turn, and we're going to use that to add Habakiri. Special summon the Sword Ryzeal effect, get the Star Ryzeal, use the effect to summon itself out. It's not really an effect, but it's just a summon condition it has. And with the Star Ryzeal, we get to activate the effect on special summon to place the Ryzeal cross. This particular point is the split in the timeline. If you get hit by Nibiru, this would likely be the point because you have a Ryzeal cross threatening them so that they can't use Nibiru anymore. But in any case, we're going to now overlay our Star Ryzeal and Sword Ryzeal, and that's going to make our Ryzeal Duo Drive and Duo Drive effect to attach. We're going to attach our Ice Ryzeal, and we're not going to use this effect just yet. We got to make sure that this effect eventually will go through, but for now, we're going to switch over into our Mitsurugi, and we're going to activate the Habakiri Revealing, and that's going to summon out our Saji, and we're going to tribute the King of the Feral Imps because King of the Feral Imps is no longer a monster that I can use to rank up anymore. And so Saji effect is going to add the Mitsurugi Ritual. We're going to activate the Mitsurugi Ritual, and we're going to summon from the deck now. So we're going to tribute the Habakiri, summon out the Ame no Murakumo, and that's going to activate the Habakiri. Habakiri is going to give us prayers. We're going to activate the prayers, and we're going to tribute our Murakumo. And that's going to add the Kusanagi into hand, and we're going to choose to summon it by taking 800 damage. New chain link 1, the Murakumo, and chain link 2, Kusanagi. Kusanagi is going to add back the prayers, while Ame no Murakumo is going to add the trap. If you don't have the trap, then add another copy of prayers so that you can lay your prayers one on your turn, one on the opponent's turn, so you have follow-up for your opponent. But this gives you the Omni Negate at this point, and you get to summon back your Ame, right? So right now we have established that we have all of this. Next, we're going to overlay our two remaining monsters. And you can go for Daguerreus or Gallant Granite. For the sake of simplicity, we're just going to go with Gallant Granite so that we layer ourselves with even more disruption. Otherwise, you can just draw more cards. You can draw more hand traps. It actually makes more sense to draw more hand traps. We're going to detach one, and that's going to add a Nibiru into our hand. And from here, now we go into our Ryzeal combo. Now that, if they want to interrupt us any further, they are going to get further attacks on that as well. And we're going to detach 2. And that's going to add our X Ryzeal and our Node Ryzeal. So our hand size is pretty ridiculous at this point. And special summon out the Node Ryzeal effect, we're going to send away the Gallant Granite to summon back our Sword Ryzeal. And you can special summon the X Ryzeal by dumping into the graveyard our Eclipse Twins. So we still have an Eclipse Twins with a detonator, and then we can take all 3 materials here, make ourselves a detonator effect, attach the Eclipse Twins, and that's a live one because we do have multiple monsters available in the graveyard for the Eclipse Twins, and proceed to set these 2. This essentially makes an unbreakable board because even if they do handle everything, you still have a handful of cards, and if the handful of cards you have are just a bunch of hand traps, what is your opponent really going to do against you, right? So in terms of like 5 pops, 1 taxing effect, 1 effect to be negated by a monster, and yeah, and you have an Omni Negate, and you can also board wipe your opponent. So it's not the easiest board to break. Okay, so we've rewound the timeline to the point where we just got to our summon of Star Ryzeal, and we just placed the Ryzeal cross onto the field. And our opponent is like, oh, I'm going to nib you here, so incoming Hash Brown, put in defense mode, and so, okay, we can work with this. So now that Nibiru is no longer a threat, we're going to activate the Habakiri, and this is one of those hands where even just to stop an Ice Ryzeal, you need multiple hand traps. And this is going to summon out the Saji. And we're going to eat up our token. And Saji effect is going to get the ritual. Might as well just flip this face up just so that the moment we do go into our duo drive, we're really, really safe. And we're going to activate our Mitsurugi ritual. We're going to tribute away our Ame so that we can summon from deck. We're going to summon our Ame no Murakumo. And Murakumo can nuke the board if you really want to. You can get rid of it, but now you'd be running into the threats of an infinite impermanence. I think you can probably just wait a little bit longer, and in which case, we're just going to activate the Habakiri. Habakiri's search, unless you really want to block it in case they have like Ash or they have a burn. Like, you just need to force them to play multiple disruptions against you, and that is going to add to your hand prayers. Activate the prayers once again. Tribute the Ame, and that's going to add the Kusanagi, and we're going to pay the 800 to get the summon. Well, not pay, but we're going to take the damage for the 800 to get the summon. And new chain link 1, chain link 2. Chain link 2, we're going to use this to get back our prayers, and then we're going to summon back the Ame, and we're also going to get the Purification. Purification first, then the Ame summon, and now we can nuke this off the board. But you can also leave it there because you can make it a little bit safer for you to deal with the Imperm potentially that's still in your opponent's hand. By leaving it there, it's not a bad thing. If they're playing Ryzeal, that means the X Ryzeal is less effective. They're not going to get that search along the way. And we're now going to take our 2 monsters going to Duo Drive. Duo Drive effect, that's going to attach any of your Ryzeal. And you can just detach right now and get yourself the double search. X and Node. So summon both of these, and you can throw the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard. You can send away one of your monsters if you need to, but otherwise you can just overlay the 2 into your detonator. And once you get into your detonator, you can attach your Eclipse Twins. And just all the same, you still have your Purification, and you also have your Prayers still live. Combo 2. Habakiri, 1-card combo. This is the No-Tachyon version, and because it's No-Tachyon, that means we have 2 Eclipse Twins in the extra deck. Just look at the deck profile. Activate the Habakiri, reveal itself, and summon out Saji, and tribute the Saji. Saji effect, add the ritual. Activate the ritual, tribute the Habakiri, summon out Ame no Murakumo. Effect of Habakiri, add the prayers, activate the prayers, tribute the Murakumo, and we're going to add to our hand Kusanagi in sequence, and of course take 800 damage to summon out our Saji. Effect of Murakumo, summon itself back out, but before that we have to add a card, so we're going to get the trap card, and therefore we have set up this. Now, we can normal summon out the Kusanagi, and through that effect we can add the prayers back into our hand. So at the very least we have a prayer set up with a Purification. Next, we're going to overlay the 2 into Duo Drive. Duo Drive effect, we're going to detach for the 2, adding Ice and X. We're going to special summon out the Ice by tributing or sending away our Murakumo, and now we're going to special summon out the X Ryzeal by sending into the graveyard our first Eclipse Twins. Effect of X Ryzeal, add Sword Ryzeal, and now we can overlay the 2 into a Gallant Granite, or you can go for any rank 2, whatever that you need, as long as you maintain 1 additional material. We can detach, add the Nibiru into hand so that we can, have more threats even if they do wipe our entire board, and then you can use Sword Ryzeal, special summon, get the Star Ryzeal, detach, special summon with the Star Ryzeal effect. That's going to give us the Ryzeal Cross. Set the Ryzeal Cross, activate it. You can overlay these 2 right now, the Duo Drive and the Gallant Granite. Use that to make ourselves an Eclipse Twins. And then for the Star Ryzeal, overlay these 2 for the sword and make that into our detonator. Detonator effect, attach the other Eclipse Twins. This gives you 2 chances at getting the Eclipse Twins because this particular line does not actually load your graveyard like Seas monsters. If they do end up clearing your detonator and that doesn't trigger the Eclipse Twins, the second copy of Eclipse Twins might do it. So if they spin this back, then you can have another chance with X as well. So this is the setup with this particular line. Alternatively, you could end on Duo Drive with Star Leech, Photon Blast, and the detonator instead of going into the Eclipse Twins if you don't play double Eclipse Twins. Okay, so what if you do play the Tachyon package? We'll activate Habakiri. Habakiri reveal, summon out Saji. Saji gets tributed, and that adds the ritual in a new chain. Activate the ritual. This time we're going to summon the Habakiri onto the field by tributing 2 cards from our deck, the Kusanagi and the Arimasa. Kusanagi is going to activate and get back our ritual, and then the Arimasa will put an Ame Habakiri into our hand, so we have another copy of Habakiri, and we get this back into our hand. Now we're going to activate this Mitsurugi ritual, and we're going to tribute the one that's on the field so that we can summon out the Murakumo, and that's going to start a new chain of the Habakiri in the graveyard, adding the prayers into hand and summoning itself back out. We wanted both 8s on the field because now we can proceed to overlay and summon out our Divine Golden Shadow Dragon Dragluxian. Dragluxian on summon effect, add the 7 Tachyon, and that completely bridges our combos together into the Ryzeal package. Now when we activate the 7 Tachyon, we can reveal the 104 Masquerade, and that's going to give us a copy of Ice Ryzeal. And then we can put back the additional copy of the Habakiri back into the top of the deck. So now we can just play out as is, normal summon out the Ice Ryzeal effect. Special summon with the Sword Ryzeal adds Star Ryzeal, and then use Star Ryzeal to special summon by detaching, and that's going to give us the Ryzeal Cross. We were threatening Nibiru no matter what at this point, and so we can activate the Ryzeal Cross. This is going to threaten Nibiru immediately. They're going to have to drop it immediately here, and this is going to give us a chance to overlay into our dual drive with 3 material. The reason why we're using 3 material is so that we don't get nib after we detach. Activate the detach, and that's going to give us an X and a node. Special summon out node first so that we can get rid of our Dragluxian. So activate node's effect, set into the grave, summon back the Sword Ryzeal. And this is going to allow X to get that search now. And we want to dump into the graveyard first one of our monsters. However, if you look at the graveyard, there's nothing really loaded to actually allow for the Eclipse Twins to get any value. So a better line probably might be to dump something else at the moment. So we're going to dump Mirror Logic Aggregator to summon out the X Ryzeal. X Ryzeal effect is now going to provide you with a Sword Ryzeal. So this sword can now dig into this X, and that X can throw the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard, reviving your dual drive if the tournament gets like completely broken. Now you can take your monsters, and there's going to be like 1 spare monster out here, so we're just going to overlay with all of them and make ourselves a Detonator. Detonator effect, attach the Mirror Logic Aggregator, yes, and then you can set the prayers while still holding all these cards available. So that's one way to bridge it. And finally, resolving this combo will win you the game. It's the X 1 card combo. It is the most broken thing you can do. Special summon out the X by sending the Eclipse Twins to the graveyard, using that effect to add a sword. Special summon out sword to grab your ice. Normal summon out the ice, special summon the star. Star is going to set up your cross. Activate the cross. You are 4 summons, so you can't be nibbed at this moment. Overlay your 2 monsters into a Detonator. Detonator effect, attach the Eclipse Twins. That's on 5th, so now you're nib proof. Now you continue your play. Overlay your remaining 2 monsters into King of the Feral Imps. Detach King of the Feral Imps to grab your Habakiri. Activate Habakiri. Reveal Habakiri. Special summon out Saji. Send away your King of the Feral Imps. That's getting tributed. Effect of Saji. That gives you your ritual. Activate your ritual and tribute out your Habakiri, summon out your Murakumo, effective Habakiri that adds prayers into your hand, and activate prayers, tributing your Mitsurugi Murakumo, and that's going to add into your hand your Kusanagi. Special summon out your Kusanagi as a part of it, take the 800. 2 chain links here, chain link 1 Ame, chain link 2 your Kusanagi. That is going to add back your prayers, and you get to add the trap card into your hand, which is why some people side it back in because it's really, really good, and this also summons back your Murakumo. With that, you're not done yet because now you have 2 monsters. Overlay them into your duo drive, effective duo drive to attach. I believe there is a Sword Ryzeal here for you to attach. Detach for your duo drive, and that's going to add Node Ryzeal and whatever other Ryzeal you really need here. I guess you can technically go for a Sword Ryzeal. Then you can go for a special summon out of a Node Ryzeal.
And from there, you can just get rid of one card in your hand, summon back your X that's in the graveyard, overlay the two, go into Daguerreus effect, detach, and you get to draw 2, and then you get to ditch 1, and then you can use cross effect, put back your Ryzeals back into your deck, and then draw another card. So I guess this is kind of your finishing hand. Set these 2, of course, and you have pretty much 6 cards in your hand and about 7 cards on the field. You know, back in the day we used to say, oh, this combo's a +4. Well, this one's way more than a +4. Alright, so this is why it's so crazy. The whole thing is like nib insulated, and your opponent is playing through Omni Negates, Destructions, Monster Negates, a full hand of cards. It's crazy. And you can also do all of this under like 3 minutes.
That's it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and ding that notification bell. And if you want to check out the deck profile, which most of these combos stem from, well, it's probably one of the links on the side, or this is the thumbnail that you're looking for. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.